Most coaches and entrepreneurs spend weeks, maybe months, building landing pages that don't convert. And the craziest part is the simplest one with no scrolling, just a hero section. According to Alex Hormozi's hero formula for landing page, that's the one that converts the most. In this video, I'm going to go through the 4 levels of how to create a super high value, high converting landing page, and also how to go from AI slop that everyone is talking about like this to super clean and high converting like this. If you don't know me, I'm Dave, and I think I built my first web page actually 30 years ago. I've created high converting funnels for #1 best-selling book funnels. In this video, we're going to go through how you can use Claude to do this yourself. All right, so before we dive into actually the 4 levels, we got to talk about a couple of the initial problems. So most people are playing around with Claude and even ChatGPT to build websites, which is amazing, and then complaining that it doesn't get it right, complaining about AI slop. But the problem is there's too many similar ones. So we need to make ours look very different. A lady I'm working with, which has this amazing program for training dogs. This is her manually created landing page. She took weeks on this thing. We're going to go and recreate this, and going from kind of what AI would generate something like this to a lot more high converting clean things like this. Now, yes, I get there is a typo here in my GPT created this image, and yeah, obviously the calm pool free walks that doesn't make sense, but this is a simple non-scrolling hero. By hero, I mean there's a hero section of your landing page and it doesn't scroll anymore. A funnel page, by the way, is just there's one goal to sign up. Like I was saying, a website has links at the top, navigation all over the place, and that is actually what ruins the conversions. Sabri Subri from Marketing God out there, have a look on YouTube. He says, pretty funnily, that if you send traffic and leads to your website and not your landing page, it's basically the death of money. And that stuck with me. So what outperforms all of them is the Alex Hormozi, what I call the hero formula for landing pages. So I took all of the key content from YouTube where Alex Hormozi talks about the highest optimized landing pages from multiple Alex Hormozi videos. I took the transcripts. I used Claude to turn this into a master formula for landing pages. And so we have 4 elements, 1 page. So we want a headline that names the exact outcome that the customer is going to get from your freebie. We're talking about free landing pages, not things that will sell a product. Selling is later. This is just to get someone to sign up for your email list. Then a subtitle that mirrors the pain. So that's an opportunity for you to put the problem and the pain into that subtitle. And then optionally, 3 bullets, no more, no less, and then 1 clear button. So this is 1 hero section, a bit like this. That is all we need: headline, subheadline, and sign up. 3 bullets, optional, you can get rid of these. And then here we have some kind of optional image as well. Now, even though this is pretty obvious, I can't tell you how many people in my entrepreneur group right now, and there's hundreds of people in this group, so many of us are creating these long landing pages, and other group of people are creating web pages, full navigation, everything about me, about the creator. All that your customer really cares about is if they've actually clicked through to your content, that's from your content to your landing page, that's amazing. So if we are screwing this up on the landing page by having them scroll and read tons and tons of content, that is where it goes wrong. We need to get it dead simple, 1 hero section, because people don't read, they skim the page. And so when they skim, they're just reading headlines anyway, barely even like digging into the content. Less than 5% of people are actually reading what you put on that page. So it needs to be less text, less everything, less elements. All right, let's start building level 1, which is essentially AI slop. Before I dive into that, I want to tell you quickly about, take 5 seconds to tell you about the YouTube Client Machine, which is where we put together like how to create optimized funnels. If you have a YouTube channel or starting a YouTube channel, you can set one up from scratch here. This is my school community. You can go look that up. The link is in the description. I'll talk more about that later. All right, so let's get our Claude out. I'm assuming you know how to set up a Claude desktop. You're going to need that for this project here for every one of the levels. We're using Claude. You can go ahead and use other AIs, but in this video, I'm going to show you the full tutorial with Claude. So level 1 is AI slop that everyone seems to be talking about, which is kind of insulting for AI because AI is genius at creating this stuff, but we know it well because it looks something like this. Okay, so let's go create this as our level 1 starting point in Claude Desktop. So go ahead and install Claude Desktop, set yourself up with an account. You will need some kind of paid account, probably like $20 a month pro account minimum. Okay, so level 1, we are just going to ask Claude Desktop. And by the way, I recommend this in every single one of my videos. Go and install something like Whisper Flow or Super Whisper, where I can just tap a key here. It will pop up and voice input anything I want. And this speeds up my workflows by 10 times. I'm going to go to co-work because I want it to create files on my machine. Okay, yeah, let's build a freebie landing page for a free guide on how to train your dog for better walks. Can you create a HTML page for me in light mode? Thanks. Let's fire that off. Okay, so I just use my key input there, and you see how much that speeds up your workflow, and then we're gonna let this run and see what happens. Actually, while that's running, so essentially what's happened here is we are just, when we talk to Claude or any AI, a lot of people complain about hallucinations. When we're just asking Claude a generic question like we just did, not giving it any context or being specific, it's going to go search everywhere and try to piece together what you want it to do. And it needs to be a lot more specific. So we're going to see that is why we get AI slop. That is why we kind of get generic results. And generic results are not going to be a high converting landing page. In fact, in level 2, I'm going to give you an incredible Claude skill that I've trained on Alex Hormozi's hero method. So not only did I like compress all that knowledge into one and using that, but I'm turning that into a skill, and that is going to be completely free. All right, and so here is what we get when we keep things really generic and vague and what we call AI slop, but really it's a context problem. So stop using the word AI slop is what I'm trying to do, and just realize I have to give this better context. And more importantly, when we give Claude superpowered skills and knowledge, the results just don't get a little bit better, but they get incredibly better. So this is typically what you not only would get of producing this with a vague prompt, but it is what there's so many ones out there similar. So we have to differentiate ourselves from all the competition by producing something not only a lot more professional, but we're not going for the most beautiful long scrolling page here. We're going for the most high converting simple. Go simple over beautiful, and then add a little tweak to make it look nice if you choose to. So this page, this is only a screenshot of it, but it does actually scroll really, really long. So scrolling landing pages, as we talked about, are a big, big problem. So that is level 1, what you're typically gonna get. You'll also notice that you're gonna get all these emojis, and you'll get a lot of these like double dash things. As soon as I see those, I know this is AI. So the skill that I made, actually trained with Alex Hormozi stuff, also has a whole set of rules in there. I pre-built that skill for you. It gets rid of little AI things like this. It does things like make sure the title is like super large and bold and clean. It makes it grade 5 easy to understand. So let's dive into level 2. We're going to make this a lot better, but not only the way it looks, but we're going to use Alex Hormozi's hero formula. Plus, we're going to actually tailor this landing page for your ideal customer, the actual person that after the freebie is going to buy something from you one day. So that is why this skill is probably the most valuable Claude skill I've ever done. Let's dive in to level 2. All right, so we've talked about the Alex Hormozi hero formula. Now the cool thing is here, we can keep the page really, really simple. By hero formula, I mean, you need no scrolling, you just need that hero page. You do need it to be optimized for mobile, so that's where you're gonna get most of your visitors, but we don't need it even on mobile. It's gonna scroll a little bit. There's just one section at the top of the page. There's no navigation. But for a freebie, everything just needs to be as simple as you seeing a YouTube title and a thumbnail, and that's the reason why you clicked on your YouTube video. Think of your landing page just like that. It has to be so clear, a grade 5 level could understand it in 3 seconds. So I wrapped all this up in a Claude skill for you, Hormozi hero formula, which is an outcome, which is your title, the outcome of the freebie. So the thing they're going to get, and try and be as specific as possible. A result that they really, really want badly. It has to be impressive. And then the subtitle is kind of mirroring the pain back to them. That's the best way of doing it. There's some really advanced stuff we're going to get to later on level 3 and 4 with like reflecting pain and things like that. And then 3 bullets max, but those are totally optional. Such as like how fast the thing will work, exceptions and objections. So this will work for you even if XYZ. And then one big, what we call call to action, CTA button. That's literally all you need for the hero formula. The messaging is crucial. The words you put in your title are everything. That's the first thing they are going to read. It's going to be bold. It's going to be as big as this guy. So let's look at a page first that converts a lot better. Yeah, so here's a great example from Nicholas Crystal, who has an amazing YouTube channel. You can see here how the bold and clean this is. He has just a title. This is not for a free product, by the way, so it will be different to yours. A freebie will just be this hero section. This page does scroll because it's for a very expensive paid course, but just taking the visuals of this is what you're looking for. One button, one subtitle, one title, and you can call out who this is for right here above the title. So that is all you need. This just shows you an example framework of the hero, Alex Hormozi hero formula. All right, so in a few moments, we're gonna go create something like this. And just to recap, the headline rule, the title is the outcome that they desperately want in their words, even if it's a freebie. Like what do they struggle to sleep at night, wake up in the morning thinking this is exactly what's frustrating me and what I need, and if only I could have XYZ, that should be your freebie. And Donald Miller also talks about this, which is crucial for every bit of messaging. Again, the messaging you use on that page, with just the hero section, there's only a few words to get right, so spend time on making them right. So never make your buyer think, that's the viewer of your landing page. They should be able to get it in 2 or 3 seconds. Every extra word is a conversion loss. So that is really important to keep in mind. If you want to create a headline and then refining that headline, take words away, tweak words until your daughter or your kid or a kid at school or something, someone young could be like, oh, I know exactly what that page is offering. And it sounds obvious, but most people absolutely don't do this. We'll try and be too clever. And the problem is that we are too close to our product. So we tend to spend like weeks making these landing pages and like long scrolling pages like I talked about. And the reason why they get so hard is because we're trying to pack them with features. We don't tell them about product features. It's about the outcome. And this is actually harder than you think. And when you make a landing page, you realize the reason why it's so hard because we have to be in the head of the buyer or our customer. And unfortunately, we are too close and too technical and too expertise in the thing we're offering. So we struggle to put it in the words of our buyer because we are the expert. And you don't want to put it in the expert words. You don't want to be clever. You don't want to be overcomplicated, not too much detail, no features. You just want to talk about them, what they want in their words, in their emotions. All right, so this time I'm going to start a fresh chat, again with Cowork here, so it can create files if needed on my computer. And then let's start a new chat. So I'm starting a new chat, so we're starting fresh now, but this time I'm going to use the skill that I'm going to give you for free, which I have tweaked and optimized and improved. It's actually quite advanced. It's not just the Alex Hormozi hero formula, but I have trained it with some extra information as well about messaging and marketing, and Donald Miller, how to, there's a whole set of rules in there about the size of headlines, getting rid of AI slop and AI dashes and all that stuff I was talking about earlier. So let me show you this skill in action, and it's completely free. You can download it in the link in the description. It's also in my school community along with all of the other stuff, and there's tons of stuff in there. Claude skills are going to change everything. All right. So assuming you know how to install a skill, the one that you're going to download, and if you don't know, there's tons of tutorials out there online, or you can just ask Claude itself, how do I install this? So you would download a zip file, and it's called the freebie hero Hormozi formula here. And it's actually got some other files in here. So here's the deep knowledge of the Alex Hormozi. So you can see this is not just a simple skill. Like I've trained this on a whole bunch of YouTube videos to understand exactly what is high performing landing pages from Alex Hormozi and other brands as well. It takes into account people like Donald Miller, and you'll see him referenced in here. So these are really important for getting the messaging really, really powerful on your landing page. So this, as far as I'm concerned, this is one of the most valuable skills I've created, because trying to get a landing page to not only look good is one thing, get it high converting is really hard and massively valuable. But the messaging and marketing, sometimes people pay thousands just for, customizing the messaging on their landing page. So get the skill here, and you will install it right here, and you can go to upload a skill where you'll be able to like drag and drop your zip file, and it will appear here. And then after you've got that installed, then go to Cowork, and we're going to start a brand new chat, and I'm just going to reference the actual skill name right here. So I do it like that, but you can also just say, hey, can you use the freebie hero Hormozi? All right, so we are going to ask this skill now to build this landing page. Very, very simple. So even though I'm giving it minimal context, it has all of that stuff from the skill that is going to create a way better landing page for you. But it's still going to be kind of in the AI slop territory. You'll see what we get. Let's try this puppy out. All right, hey, so can you let's build a light mode freebie landing page for a free guide on how to train dogs for better walks. And make sure you ask me the questions. Don't create the HTML yet until we are happy with the copy. All right, let's fire that in, and we'll let this go. And the first thing this skill will do is it will ask you, so this is where it gets really powerful. So I combined Alex Hormozi's information like I was talking about, but I also brought in my methodology for knowing your customer and knowing their desired problem and outcome. So in the context of this freebie, it's got some questions for us. And these are essential for getting the best messaging, high converting messaging. Just a couple of minutes or 5 minutes even to make this good, and it will really, really help. So who exactly is this freebie for? But the good thing is it's suggesting things. So are we talking to new dog owners with a young rescue? So already it's like incredibly trying to encourage you to be really specific about your customer, which is how you'll get high conversions. Frustrated owners of big, strong breed senior dog owners. So there's some really wonderful suggestions that are very specific. So it says, paint me a picture. Okay, so I'm going to go with my experience. So Okay, ideal customer for number one. We're talking about new dog owner with a young rescue, 3 years old, let's say, that is very sensitive and reactive and pulling on the leash again on walks. Tends to be okay indoors, but outdoors, I can't really get a lot of attention. Again, I'll cover some of the others quickly here. Yeah, the burning problem. So leash pulling is the number one. Let's focus on that for the freebie. There's also, keep in mind, the other issues are reactivity and sensitivity to other dogs. It's feeling nervous, but pulling is the biggest one, and it's kind of embarrassing. Yeah, you've made some great suggestions. It's embarrassing. I kind of feel silly. I feel hopeless. I feel like my dog is not connecting with me or paying attention. I'm feeling guilt as well. Okay, so one of the things here, I'm actually living and breathing my own dog, going through that, what I felt a few years ago. So the more emotion and the more you know your customer, the more, this is not just for your landing page, but this will unlock your whole business and sales. So it's worth spending at least 5 minutes on these questions, because these questions apply to your whole business funnel. Even if it's a low ticket thing you're offering and a high ticket, you need to know the answers to these questions and your exact customer you're talking to. So remember that desired outcome next, number 3, is going to be to do with the headline. Yeah, so calm walks where my dog can sniff when they want, but I don't feel guilty, and I find the walk pleasurable, not stressful for me, and my dog is happy, and we can just go and spend an enjoyable walk together so that I am actually getting rest and my dog is feeling really happy and enjoying their walk as well. And I'm not feeling guilty and stressed or embarrassed that someone's watching me pull the leash. The freebie itself, let's do a 3-day plan of a checklist of things you can do on your next 2 or 3 walks to start to fix pulling on the leash. So we're giving it a time frame there for the outcome, which is really important to get specific and be attractive as a freebie. Yeah, for brand colors, let's go with kind of a forest green with white text, because orange gets used a lot by Claude, so the less AI, the better. All right, so that is it. Let's run this baby and we'll see what we get. Okay, so the first thing this skill is going to do is just review the messaging with you. So stop leash pulling. So this is what is going to go on the page, and that way we're not worrying about the look of the page and tweaking the look of the page until we've dialed in our messaging. That is the most crucial. So for new owners of sensitive rescue dogs who pull, lunge, and won't pay attention outside, like if I first had my dog and I read that, I'm like, yeah, okay. Sensitive rescue dogs who pull, lunge, and won't pay attention outside. I'm like, okay, I'm listening. Even before I got to the headline, stop leash pulling in just 3 walks. I'm like, well, that is BS, but so there could be an element of BS here. Think about that. But I'm also pulled in. I'm like, okay, maybe in 3 walks, that would be insane. Maybe that is insane, but it pulls me in. So you can tweak and ask it to tweak the title and make it like, okay, let's make it 7 walks or something, or let's tweak something. And then you've got a subtitle here, a suggested 3 things, no choke collars, no harsh tools, no shouting, just 10 minutes per walk. Cool. Works with sensitive and reactive rescue dogs. Okay, great. And then it's also got a, if we want to create a hero image, it creates a prompt, a little mini prompt here, so that we can then give that to ChatGPT or give it to Claude or give it to Nano Banana by Google to generate that hero image for us if we want an image on our page. We don't have to have an image. And so it reviews the crucial elements of your landing page. Don't make me think. Okay, 7 words, grade 5 clear. Yep, so we've got a tick on that. So it's scoring that it's reviewed the most important things, the billboard test. So these are what I built into the skill. Is it readable in under 3 seconds? Would my daughter understand, she's 13 now, but when she was 7 years old or 5 years old, would she understand stop leash pulling in 3 walks? Of course she would. So that is how clear you want to get. And it sounds obvious, but most people don't. They create this complicated, fluffy, vague, intuitive, clever headline that, I'm not even sure. The amount of times people have created pages within our group and we look at them together and we're like, I'm not sure, what are you offering here? I have no idea. Even after 2 minutes, we're still confused what the thing actually is. So don't underestimate this. And specific and tangible, we've got a specific number of walks and a believable time frame, even though I said maybe BS, but I was just being like, that would be amazing if it was true. And it's got alternate headlines as well, so you can just choose some of these, but let's just say all this is good. So what you just saw here, we went through basically your ideal customer and your avatar, the burning problem, the desired outcome, and the freebie itself. All of this should align to your paid offer as well. This, I've seen people spend years, including myself, trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to offer and how to get specific, how to get the ideal customer. Even with these suggestions, it got me there. It got me with this dog example. It got me there in just a few, like 2 minutes. It's crazy to me. Like literally, people get stuck on this for months and months and months and months, and time flies by. Don't get anywhere. Don't get any landing page done. So this is unlocked. That's why I say this skill is crazy valuable. All right. So with all that said, let's dive in, and we're still going to make this so much better. It's going to be an optimized landing page, but it's still going to look a very AI-y, is my guess. And we're going to fix all that to make it look super professional as well. Let's go. Let's run this on and create the page. All right, that all looks amazing. Yeah, let's go with all that messaging. Let's create the HTML page now. I love it. Thank you. All right, Claude was having some server issues, but let's see what we got. It's created the page. Let's dive in and have a look straight away what we have. Okay, so we have this. Now, it's, as I said, this is going to look AI, but the messaging is a lot more dialed in. And we can tweak the messaging. We can ask it to update, tweak things, get rid of things. But we have, maybe this is a bit too long. I could limit this to just sensitive owners of sensitive rescue dogs. Keep it. Remember, people don't read, they skim. So they're going to be reading this straight away. We're going to add a hero image in the next section to make this look really, really good. I can just ask it to create a picture of a dog on the right-hand side. That's fine. But we want to get a bit more specific. And a free 3-day checklist of simple things to try on your next walks. Get your rescue's attention back. So without reading all this, even though the look is AI, and that is level 3, which we're going to make it look way, 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 way better. But here's another example I did before. So similar kind of thing. It's very simple. And it's also mobile responsive, but it's way better than this long scrolling. This scrolls for quite a while. All right, and so we are ready basically for level 3, where we're going to turn this into a stunning landing page, a bit like this, even as a fancy animation. So we're keeping it super simple, but we're going to make it way, way upgraded. And again, if you want to get the skill that does all that messaging, that Hormozi framework for you, and it'll even ask you to provide screenshots of level 3 stuff as well, you can go download that link in the description. The skill is absolutely free. And also, if you want to join our YouTube community, which is on School, it's an incredible platform. You can see here all the things inside. It's all about like setting up a YouTube channel. If you're already running, it's how to create funnels, how to create landing pages, how to set up your lighting, your equipment. So basically everything, set up a landing page here, but also tons of amazing Claude skills that I add to every single week. 10-day camera challenge. Like this is the complete collection from taking your YouTube channel and turning it into a business that gets leads, gets you sales, and covers every single thing. This has just been launched, by the way, so you get in there at a super cheap rate. Yeah, go check that out. The link is in the description for that as well. And funnily enough, if you want to know how I create this presentation that I use for the YouTube videos, that is a skill I spent weeks kind of customizing. It's even got like recording notes on the left-hand side. I'll show you here. It's crazy. It's like a whole presentation app, like a Google Slides or something like that. And I built one especially for YouTube. That is also something I am giving away, but inside the School community. So go check that out. All right, level 3 is beautiful sites, not slop. So we're talking stuff like this here, which uses the Hormozi framework, but everything's beautiful. It's even got some animation there actually, and not only the flash, but the dog in the background slightly moving, like a subtle effect. And here's another one I did recently for one of my freebies. So I'm using these skills to actually produce my freebies, my landing pages. And this landing page, like I said earlier, only took me like 3 minutes with the skill. After you've done your first one, and you've done that, like, what is my problem? What is my ideal customer? What is the outcome? Once you've done that once, you can produce multiple landing pages, multiple freebies in just minutes with these skills. So here's what we do in level 3. We basically give it a lot of context. So a lot of you may do this already, but its biggest, most powerful thing to get AI slop gone is to give it screenshots, give it reference pictures, give it as much information. And super, super easy to take a screenshot, give it multiple screenshots and tell it to build something that looks like this. And immediately the appearance will go away from looking like AI to something a lot better. You'll still have to iterate and tweak it as needed. So let's do that right now and show you how to do that. Okay, for this one, I'm going to stay in the same chat, and we're basically going to upgrade the previous page that we got right here. So this guy here to something that looks really cool. So what I'm going to do is look online, and I'm going to give you a few resources to go check out. Okay, so one place which is amazing is Dribble. And then go here and search for in whatever theme you're looking for. So let's say like a light mode website or a light mode landing page you can search for, and then see what you get. And then just find out what jumps out at you, even something like this. Again, we're looking for something that would be very clean to use as a landing page, like something like this, maybe something like this. And so we're looking for the style that you are going for, but again, trying to pick things that are clean. There's too much on here, too much text. So let's pick a clean one together. Let's go with this for now. Like, I haven't used this, but I haven't tried this before, but let's use this as an example. And all I'm going to do is screenshot this guy. And this is going to be an experiment. I don't know how this is going to come out in Claude, but it will be a fun experiment. So I am going to paste it in right here. Just press Command and V on the Mac or Control V on Windows, I believe, and just give it 2 or 3 reference pictures. So let's go to another place we can use reference pictures. Okay, so next I've gone to Pinterest actually, and I've zoomed right into this one, and I'm going to copy that and paste that into. Okay, I also found this picture earlier just from a Google picture search. So I'm also going to screenshot that one and just look up the screenshot shortcut on your computer to make that easier. You'll need that a lot, especially as you work with AI. Giving it pictures for context is one of the best things you can do. So I've got 3 kind of beautiful styles here, all in. First, we're going to give it these reference images. So I'm going to say something like this. So, okay, can you take these reference images and keep our light mode landing page, but make it look beautiful and look like this. Make sure the title is actually really large as well, and it captures the user's eye immediately. Then on the right hand side for now, just use the image prompt that we had to create a relevant picture of a dog on the right hand side. You can use any of the styles and themes from the screenshot. Make sure everything is super minimal. Our messaging isn't touched. It's exactly how it was before. It's creating the page right now. Sorry, I realized all that time I was still sharing my other screen. So yeah, this is the actual prompt that I gave it here. I pasted in the images at the top here, and this is the prompt in case you need to use it, but I basically just made that up on the fly. All right, so while that is generating, I am going to generate a image for the right hand side of the page, which is going to be my free ebook example. So let's talk to ChatGPT. In this case, you can use anything. Okay, can you create me an image of representing a PDF, so like a mini magazine cover with minimal stuff on it, but I want a picture of a lady walking down the street with her dog, and this has to have a loose leash, and it's kind of a beautiful nature scene with trees in the background, and the lady looks very happy. And yeah, just make it like a magazine style with it so you can see a few pages. And can you make the background either transparent behind the magazine cover, or just make it white is fine as well. And let's see what image that comes out with, and we'll use that to add to our page. Okay, so the first draft of the page here, you can see it actually goes to the edges. My page is a bit bigger here, but you can see how close everything is to the edges. So it's looking better, still looking a little bit AI-like. So next advice I'm going to do is we're going to replace this image on the right with our new one. It's going to look a lot better. But let's give this some let's give it some fonts and some ideas of titles that look a lot better. So creating your page is an iterative process the first time. You create it, you tweak it, you make it look less AI, you add samples, you add reference images, screenshots, and then you keep doing this like 3 or 4 times and get pretty quickly, it doesn't take as long as it sounds, some awesome pages. I mean, you could absolutely run with this. It is way better than our original page. So for the lady I was working with, I'll show you the original page. So this is the original page right here, and there's a lot of text, a lot of stuff on this page. In fact, I can go to it right here. Yeah, so you can see we've got a lot going on here if I zoom this out. Yes, there's a lot. And people, when I talk about skimming, and there's some color issues here, like even accessibility issues of hard to read text on certain colors. There's a lot in here. And it's again like a web page, and it's not a landing page. So you can see already, if we jump to this, here's the key thing, it doesn't have to be beautiful. It's not beautiful yet, but it just has to be high converting and very clear. So this versus this is exactly the Alex Hormozi hero formula. We've got minimal scrolling. We should have 0 scrolling here actually. But we're going to make this look a lot better, something like this, but we're close. I'll show you how to put the finishing touches. Okay, so we have this from GPT, and I really like this. Again, iterate and tweak to whatever you like, but this is awesome actually. So we're going to download this, and underneath we would put like free PDF or whatever. So I'm going to download that and basically just give that to Claude. All right, so I have dragged it in this case, or you can like upload a file if you have it saved. I just like dragged it from my browser into there for the magazine. Okay. All right, can you replace the image on the right on our landing page and use this magazine cover as our feature image? Also, make sure there's a lot more margin around every edge of the page. So there's a lot more white space on the left and right especially. And just make sure the height of the page is a bit less. We don't want it to scroll much or at all. Finally, let's use a really clean font for the body text and something like Google Sans for the headline, and that should make it look less like AI text. All right, so we are making some level 3 tweaks here, and in level 4, we're just gonna add some finishing, polish, and touches. That's more advanced, so if you're in that mode, I'm gonna show you some awesome resources you can use, some amazing websites, and how to actually like pull in some really advanced, the behind the scenes of other web pages that you love, how to pull that information in very specifically so that Claude will know exactly how to use it and create something identical for any beautiful web page. So yeah, while that is creating, don't forget to go download this skill, the one that is super valuable. And then here's a reminder of everything that is in the YouTube client machine school group that has just launched, brand new. There's awesome people getting together, awesome entrepreneurs and founders. Here's all the stuff that you get in there. It's not just Claude skills, there's tons of strategy. Bear in mind, like I've been doing this for many years. I've created like software and systems for people like Disney and Amazon and Walgreens and Costco, some big clients. I'm a software guy, so if you ever need help with software systems, tech, AI, how to build a business, and this is specifically using YouTube to get traffic to and leads to your landing page and then make sales. All of this YouTube client machine is based around that, so go check that out. It's in the description. All right, and let's see what our landing page looks like now if I open. All right, amazing. So we are super close now. Like this is looking great. This is perfect for level 3. And let me move myself out of it so you can see this a bit better. Yeah, so this is looking awesome. We have minimal scrolling. In fact, it doesn't scroll at all now. There's a lot more spacing, so that really helped. I might get the text to be a bit darker so it stands out better. But already, let's look at where we came from. So this is a reminder of the 3 levels. We started off with an AI slop, as we call it, which is our fault because of not enough context, which scrolls a lot. We added the superpower skill to create something like this or this. And this is a lot better because now we have the 3 bullet points. We have the title, which is optimized to exactly what we are offering, the outcome. This talks about problems and everything that the person is thinking. There's still some AI stuff here. So this one is actually a lot more optimized. And then in level 3, we optimized it for creating images and making it look a lot better by giving it screenshots and style. But then we went to this, and this was pretty good. I wasn't as keen on the font. It still looks a bit AI and not enough padding and everything like that. But as soon as we replace the image, now we get to this. Now, obviously we want to make this transparent, and you can ask it to make that transparent. But in level 4, we're going to add some polish to this. And I'm going to show you some tricks that if you want to spend more time, you can release this for your freebie landing page and it will do really well. Follows the Hormozi formula, high conversions. Now, I say remember, but I haven't mentioned this yet. This is actually really important to discuss. A lot of people don't realize this. So they'll put so much effort on their landing page and make it scroll so long to show off all the features that we talked about earlier. But we do this because we think the landing page has to do the job of selling even the freebie, but it doesn't. Remember this, or this was a big deal breaker for when I realized. So your content itself, especially if you're on YouTube, long form content where you're building a relationship and you're connecting with people over 1 video, 2 videos, 3 videos, you're already like pulling them into the thing so that when they click the link, for the people that do click the link in the description, just like this video, there'll be a percentage of viewers that always click the link in the description. So why have you created, or why do we go ahead, and I made this mistake many times, why do we create this like crazy long landing page and spend weeks making it when the viewer is actually already sold? All they need to know is, oh yeah, is this the thing I clicked on? Yeah, this is the thing. There's the button. And I press the button, put my email in. That is all you need to do. So we massively overcomplicate this, and this skill is going to really help. But let's move on now to the final level. When you get advanced, you can do level 4 with me, but all you need now is again, skip level 1 because you've got the skill. Start with level 2, use the level 3 to make it look a bit more beautiful like this. Get AI to generate an image, whichever AI you want. You can use Nano Banana to create something even better. And then level 4, let's go. We'll show you how to make this. Just add some polish so it looks a bit more like this guy here, which you can see looks like I really like this. And things like this with like a little bit of animation, a little bit of polish. Yeah, so level 4 is all about using other AI tools and other websites and things like Nano Banana and some other tricks I'll show you. That's fast paced here. So this is getting advanced. I'll show you how to like use some other the internals, the HTML and the CSS, let's say, if that makes sense to you, which are the code for any web page that you can go to. You can view that code and then give it to Claude to replicate things on that page that you really like. I'll show you how to do that really quick. This is going to be high level so we don't go in the weeds. And then other options, other websites that you use. So this is about using things like Nano Banana to bring your page to life, make it more beautiful, and it will not look like any other pages out there. Now you can take this to other massive levels. I've seen other incredible YouTube creators who are pros on Claude to generate these 3D animated website hero images. So that is another thing that we're not going to cover in this video, but you can use like Higgsfield platform, which connects to all the image and video generation platforms. So you can use that to create anything you want. So as your page scrolls, it creates this animation. But I caution us, we don't need that to sign up someone to a landing page. In fact, going overboard can be a distraction. So be careful of how much polish. Just add tiny subtle bits, and that will set you above the rest, but still keep your conversions up. All right, let's do this. Okay, first things first, one of my favorite level 4 skills here is to use animated background images, but there's a way of doing this, and I've seen a lot of people do this wrong. This is, let me show you an example here. So you can see the dog is actually zoomed in. This is called the Ron Burns effect, classic kind of picture. So you can still use pictures, so it's really efficient. The file size is really efficient. You don't have to worry about a video, but it has a slow kind of zoom in. I'll show you how to do that right now. And you can see there's a flash across the book there as well. All right, so firstly, let's add the background image, but I'll show you a trick of how to make it really, so it doesn't impact the headline, doesn't take over the page, which I see a lot of people making that mistake. Okay, so on our page, can you create a background image on the whole page, which is a picture of a dog kind of close up on their face. Make the dog kind of on the left-hand side of the picture, and the dog is looking happy on a walk. Then also, can you add a white overlay that is, let's say, 85% opacity? So basically it's kind of a white ghost image overlay of the dog. So only 15% of the dog image is actually showing through, so we don't interrupt our text. Okay, so here is what we ended up with. It's not perfect, but you get the idea that now we have a faded image that does not interrupt the title. So you can go back and give it an image that you want to use that you've generated from ChatGPT or Nano Banana, for example, of Google, and something, or maybe your own dog, something relevant to you. But to be honest, no background at all can often work better than a background. But if you do use a background, just make sure you fade it out. But it can add a bit more character to the page. What is most crucial is this feature image here. So this is the one I did earlier. You can see this came through a lot cleaner. I also asked it to animate that background. So let me show you how to do that real quick. Okay, so can you fade out that from 80% to actually 90%, so less of the dog visible in the background? And then this time, can you animate it with a Ron Burns effect? So we're going to kind of scale the dog in and out in a loop, a smooth loop from, let's say, 100% of its scale to 108%, but make it pretty subtle. And then this is why Claude is so cool, because you can ask it multiple things in one go. So right now I asked it to just make the image transparent for me. So it did that. It's not perfect. Things like Canva.com can do this perfectly, but hopefully you won't run into this. But just so you know, you can ask it to do things like this. If you give it an image or a file on your computer, say, hey, can you make this transparent? And it will do that for you. All right, so then, and finally in level 4, things are looking really good. So believe it or not, that background is animating, because I've been watching this nostril here, and it moves, it does move, and it will go in and out very slightly. Look, it's coming out if you watch so closely. So obviously when I said subtle, it was really subtle, but sometimes that's what you need. So it's not taking away from the main feature of the page here, but it is adding a bit of life. So the whole goal of level 4 is to add life to what you're offering. But the main thing is I got rid of the transparent thing, like I was showing you, so that even there's a bit of mess here, that looks so much better here. So stop leash pulling and 3 walks. This is a summary of what we got. So we've got the great messaging, it's dialed in, it's for our audience. So use that skill for your audience, your ideal buyer, your problem, the problem they have, and the exact outcome that they would want. So this could be quite dramatic. It could be something like how to quit alcohol finally after trying for so many years in, I don't know, in 6 weeks or something, and something that could really transform someone's life. And then when you see that landing page with a picture of the outcome, for example, it's just going to be dramatically life-changing and high conversions. But remember, you're using your content to really pull people in. If they then click on the link in the description, you don't have to do much else. So wonderful analogy, I haven't mentioned this yet. Someone told me this once, or I saw a diagram of this once. Imagine your content is the ball on a golf course and you're putting it, or you're hitting the ball like to the green, and it gets to the green, and now the ball has landed right next to the hole. Okay, so now all you have to do, and let me get full screen. So all you have to do on your landing page, you've done 3 or 4 YouTube videos, boom, 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 boom. And now the ball is sitting here next to the hole. Your landing page is just a putt. So that is why you need minimal, and just make it not look AI is number one. And then use that messaging with my skill to make it really, really simple. Now, this is not just about landing pages. This could be for your website and any page you want to build. It could be a sales page that you actually want it to scroll because it has to do more work to sell something of higher value. All right, let me show you a couple of other bonus tricks while we're in the advanced level of, again, you don't have to do any of these. They're nice to have, not really necessary, but some stuff you can do. All right, so I'm going to go to Google. All right, so we are literally just going to go simple now. I'm going to use Google AI mode to ask how to do an animation. So can you give me just a small description of how I can use HTML and CSS to create like a shimmering flash animation on an image? So you literally ask it for what you want, blah, 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 blah. Here you go. Here's the result. So this means a lot to me. It may not mean a lot to you. Like I said, I made my first HTML page like 30 years ago now, actually, for a client. I remember who it was. It's a guy called Scott from my hockey team, and he wanted a website for his tile company. So that was when I first made websites a long time ago. And since then, I've been doing software for God knows how long, 30 years. And so all you're going to do now, this is an experiment because I haven't tried this method yet, but I tried a similar method yesterday. So I'm going to copy this. So it just, again, we're giving Claude context. So I'm going to paste this, we're going to leave some space and then the top. So I'm going to paste the instructions that AI gave me. Hey, can you just create a shimmer effect on my image and use something like this information below? Make sure it's pretty subtle as well, and maybe every 6 seconds. Shouldn't be too dramatic. All right, let's spin that and see what we get. So this stuff is really easy. So you can get really creative here, saying like, I want an animation that slightly like zooms in my image for whatever reason, or maybe you've told AI to build a diagram for you. This is the 3-step system, and you want it to like animate or flash some of the lines. So ask it. You can probably ask it directly to do what you want. In this case, I've given it specific information about a shimmer effect, but you could have just probably asked Claude to do this example for you. While that's running, let me show you one more example before we wrap this whole thing up of how to make level 4 polish. So one really, really cool place to go to is 21st.dev. I don't think you can see the URL here. 21st, so the numbers 21st, 21st.dev, and it's got all these components here in light mode, dark mode, all sorts of organized components. And this actually has the code for these components, that HTML, CSS that we talked about. You can literally just give the URL to the components that you like if you want to add them to your page. So let's say you wanted to add a testimonials section to your landing page, which you don't want to, you want to keep it simple, but you're making a web page and you want something 3D and interactive like this guy here. Don't overuse that because I think a lot of people have started using that, but let's say you want a background animation like this. You literally tell it to use the one you want. So here's an example of crazy animation in the background. And so you can really create some incredible things. This is an animated hero section with animated text. So you can change your title to be something like that. Okay, so this is the wrong context, but let's use something like this one, which is a before and after image comparison. So let's say you were doing a fitness thing, you wanted it before, after, and with a slider for whatever reason, but browse here, there's so many cool elements that you could use, but again, keep it simple. All you have to do here is go to here and do copy code. I'm not sure why the preview isn't loading up there, but I'm going to add this to the end of my page and make it scroll just as an example. Okay, awesome. I'm starting to type now. Awesome. Can you add this before after kind of image preview thing to the bottom of the page? So you can make it scroll now, create a new section, keep it white or light theme, and then in that section as well, make the before and after image a picture of an unhappy dog maybe and a happy dog. Okay, and then I'm going to paste in the link. Let's get this again, so I lost it. Copy the code. Okay, I got it this time. I think I had to sign in, and then I just pasted in all that code. So it literally has the web code. Yeah, you can browse like here, announcements. There's also like little pop-ups, like in coming soon or only special offer this week or something. Different backgrounds. There's so many animated things as well. It's crazy. Background beams, but again, keep it pretty subtle. This is not the feature of your landing page for conversions. This is just to add subtle polish. While that's generating, just to finally wrap up, yeah, obviously feel free to use any other AI engine like video engines like HeyGen or VO3 from Google, Nano Banana just for images, and you can go as far as you want with making your page rich. Now, while that is going, one thing we haven't talked about yet is how the hell do you get your landing page actually fully functional on a website. So one option is Netlify Drop, where you can literally like go to Netlify and like drop your HTML page that you've created on there. But that's not the full picture. There's other things like Vercel, which again, Google this stuff and there'll be tutorials online of how to do it. In my school community, I'm going to actually run a workshop on how to publish your pages, because that is one of the hardest parts actually, or the trickiest parts, because it depends on what platform you're going to use to host your page. But more importantly, it depends on what what mailing software that you're using. So when someone does actually sign up for your thing, where the hell does that submission go? That's a form, and that submission needs to go to a mailing service. So that you can capture a list of email addresses so that you can then email all those people with your offer, your workshop. So that is the process. You get people from your content to a freebie, and then if they really get value from that freebie, they'll come and join a workshop, maybe purchase one of your products. So it's really easy to publish a landing page with, have a look at a guide online, or I'm going to do a guide as well. But hooking up the form is a little more tricky. And so I deal with that in my school communities. It's too long to explain here, but I might do a YouTube video on that as well. Okay, so let's see what we ended up with. This is going to be fun. So we have the shimmer effect, which actually looks really nice. I really like that. So I literally have my dog here flapping his way under my chair, like prodding me under here. So we have the shimmer effect. I really like that. Still got like super subtle animation in the background. Let's see what we have on the before and after. So I'm not sure what's going on with this is before stress dog pulling. Is there actually? It's got the same image before and after, and you can go back. It looks like it's missing the before image here, so it probably just can't find that image. But that would be funny if a stress dog on one side and then an after. But this is not really super relevant slider in this scenario, but if it was a fitness before and after of six-pack abs, it's absolutely relevant. So you can see it added this element. It took in the color scheme that we used. It probably reused the same font, which is nice. It picked a title for us and it added this element. So again, use 21st Dev. Any site that has sample website components, which is called HTML and CSS. There's a site called CodePen you can use. GitHub has tons of stuff. So if you are advanced, all you have to do is copy and paste elements that you love, and you can go use that. And finally, if you're getting really advanced, you can just right click and do inspect depending on your browser. I'm using Chrome, and you can right click on this, for example, and when I hover over, you'll see exactly what each thing is. So let's say you go to tesla.com. This is all public, by the way, tesla.com. And let's say there's an element that you love that you want to use in your page. I don't know, Matt. Let's say this element right here. I can literally do right click and inspect this thing here. It'll take me to it, and I kind of hover around these until I figure, okay, that which is the thing I want. It's like not that, that's the whole row, and then this is the one. Now you can right click on this, what's called a div. So this is HTML code, and you can do copy and then go to outer HTML, and that will copy everything with this and everything inside it. So all those elements, and then you could literally paste that into here and say, can you create an element like this, and then tell it what text to use, and it will probably go create the icon for you and all sorts. So you can also basically pull HTML and code from any website that you like. There's a way to get the styles as well, which is down here, but we won't go into that in this video. There's other Chrome extensions that will pull the HTML, the whole HTML and the CSS from any site for you, which you can then feed into to Claude, which will get you really, really super accurate results if you're trying to emulate a specific really cool page like this. So that's how I would do it. I would grab the HTML from this section, say make it like this. When Claude has that information, it can literally create it exactly. It knows what fonts to use, it knows the spacing, it knows the color scheme, it knows the animation, it knows the JavaScript. It knows everything. All right, so that is a lot in this video. This was meant to be a complete guide about landing pages, not only from marketing. You've got a free Claude skill as well to download. We've basically gone from like creating pages like this and like this to creating pages like this, and we've live built this one together, which is super cool with a shimmer. Sorry, this one here, and We've gone through the marketing information, which most people skip, and they create these massive long landing pages. We know about, okay, we're creating this for an ideal customer. The outcome is the title. We know what their problem is. So we are now a bit of an expert in marketing and messaging. And again, you can use that information all over your product and your offer, your high ticket offers, anything. You can, even in your content, once you know the problems, your content becomes the problems. All right, so as I said earlier, start at level 2. You can skip level 1, just use the skill. The link is in the description for that, and the link is in the description, of course, the YouTube client machine as well. So it's crazy value right now because it's just launched, and the first few members get a massive discount, like for life. So this is going to go up as the members grow pretty dramatically, but this is like everything you need to create a business on YouTube, get leads, but also how to master AI. And basically, I've got 25 years experience in software, writing web pages, design, software, user experience. So I can bring all that to you. Now with the power of Claude, this thing has gone insane. I've never seen a time like this before. It's insane. So with all that said, go check out link in the description. I would appreciate any comments, any feedback. And if you want to see my other video about landing pages, then go check out this video next right here. This is all about Alex Hormozi and landing pages, and it's a massive eye-opener as well. And there's one thing in there that Alex Hormozi that maybe isn't a good approach that you may want to avoid. So go check that out next.